Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Universe Revealed. Our today's episode is the second part of Lemuria versus Atlantis, the war and who's behind it. Atlantis and Lemuria are the two lost continents in legend. Atlantis was located in the Atlantic Ocean between the America and Europe to China and Japan. Lemuria was located between the Indian Ocean to Asia. The Atlanteans and Lemurians were coexisted peaceful continents since at least 210,000 BC, according to the books of Edgar Cayce, the founder of Association Research and Enlightenment. Two civilizations were more sophisticated than our current one, as referred in the books of the Theosophists, Helena Blavatsky and W. Scott Elliott. The Atlantean civilization was incredible. They were capable of transplanting organs from one body to another, also same advanced as the Lemurian. Both Atlantean and Lemurian created a massive system of atomic power. They used it for everything, such as lighting, construction, agriculture, engineering, transportation from ships to airships and even spaceships. Obviously, both of the Atlantean and Lemurian had atomic power and spacecraft far more capable than our present day. And while the Lemurians could travel to the stars, the Atlanteans could travel to the solar system. In fact, while we're still stuck with uranium and radium regarding their formidable control over nuclear energy, the Atlantean and Lemurian could extract nuclear energy from many other metals, stones, and even from vegetables, which provided the cheapest method for them. However, even with the competition in technology, and both giant kingdoms always lived in tranquility and peacefulness until 25,000 years ago. Atlantis and Lemuria disagreed on how to rule the earth. Who caused the conflict? According to the chronicles of Agartha, the Karl Braga, the submerged lands of Atlantis and Lemuria have been destroyed as a result of a nuclear conflict caused by Anunnaki. The two peaceful with inimitable technologies kingdoms may always race to become master of technology but never quite made a real war. Until Atlantean under the reign of the 10th king, who was into material and power. During his period, most of the administrative power belonged to the corrupted. It was the right time for Anunnaki, who came back from the sky and was waiting with patience for a long time. The Anunnaki manipulated the Atlantean. They persuaded the Atlantean that Atlantis could dominate the earth with new technology which Anunnaki would gift them. If Atlantis could subjugate all the other tribes on earth and tribute an amount of them to Anunnaki as a slave for their desired mind. The Atlantean induced Lemurian, but the Lemuria wanted the earth's civilizations to self-government, just as it was. The Lemurian advocated the natural evolution of other civilizations and called for non-interference, leading the Atlantean to start a war against Lemuria, which ended up with nuclear strike, the beginning of the War of 1,000 Years. At first, Lemuria wasn't well armed, but once realized that they could not avoid the war, the real disaster of all civilizations was started. They clashed in a battle involving submarines, ships, aircraft, and obsolete nuclear weapons, but no details of biological weapon found. In the chronicles of Agartha, Karl claims that the conflict between the two continents became escalated and culminated in a devastating battle after involving nuclear weapons. Darkness covered the surface of the earth Although the sun continued to shine, but a vast dense fog cast a shadow over the landscape. Strange indications began to arise in the sky. A red sun and a dark trajectory intersected. The two continents tried to drain each other's energy as they incinerated the planet with solar heat. The rivers changed, the mountains shifted, and the brightness of the sun was covered with darkness. There were no difference between days and night. Rivers had been changed as well as the height of the mountains. A series of giant waves with extremely long length from ocean violently hit continents and rapidly flood caused great destruction. By the last few centuries, everything worsened. Earth became unstable as a result of the series of nuclear explosions. The Earth's axis changed and the poles shifted, exacerbated by the igniting of underground gas reserves. Continents sank into the Bay of Fire. 80 million square kilometers of water swarmed all over the land. Water and fire met the center of the Earth, causing another time of geological changes on Earth. Most populations of Lemuria, Atlantis, and other tribes nearby perished underwater. Continents descended more and more into the mouth of hell as the shattered lands sank into the abyss of fire, resulting in the change of the world and the resumption of civilization. Survivors fled to the safe places around the world. Just a few hundreds could go with spacecraft to another planets. Nearly 10,000 of the innocent survivors were saved by the Agarthian before the worsen happened. For you, who didn't have a chance to watch one of our episodes, The Hollow Earth and Agartha Kingdom yet, allow me to give some short brief about Agarthian. Agartha was the satellite kingdom inside Earth, which was always referred by a hollow earth theory from many famous scientists and credible witnesses. They were considered as the kingdom of ancient advanced race who were high spiritual, peaceful, intelligent, and extremely long-lived beings. In Tibetan document revealed that the mythical underground cities of Agartha had been occupied by the survivors from Atlantis and Lemuria war, alongside with many refugees from disaster around the world who choose to live the life on the surface world. To know more details and where is the entrance of Agartha, please watch the episode named The Hollow Earth and Agartha Kingdom. Some survivors who led by the clairvoyant group took refuge in Shambhala, an isolated kingdom between Tibet and China. Described by James Hilton in his book Lost Horizon of Shambhala in 1933. The ancient mythical kingdom of Shambhala has significance in Buddhism and Hinduism. In Buddhism, Shambhala means pure land, and in Sanskrit it means place of peace. It is said that only those of pure heart and high spiritual can get to live there, and will never get sick or aged. Many theories say that the gate to Shambhala is located in either Siberia, Himalayas, or an abandoned monastery in Tibet. Some theorists also suggested Shambhala is located another side of under-earth area. Since Shambhala is prominent in ancient religious texts, it is likely that this realm is close to what is called heaven or paradise. As the ages passed and the stability of Earth was restored, the survivors who choose to survive inside the cave and high mountains on surfaced Earth, together they revived and gave a rise to the cultures we know today as Sumerian, Egypt, India and China. Are you thinking about Anunnaki? Anunnaki did as they always do. They abandoned the Earth and went back to Cosmo, waiting for the right time to come back with their mission. Later they did return and secretly tried to take control of Earth, making the beginning of another disaster. Who are them? Why do they keep doing that? To find out more about them, please wait for the next episode. Well guys, this is the end of our today's episode. If you like the content, please do consider to like and share. Your kind gesture will always inspire us to move on. Subscribe and click the bell notification icon below so you don't miss our new episodes. Thank you so much for being with us.